So, good morning, everybody. I'm Ilona Warburton, and I'm a member of the Enterprise Europe Network team based in Inverness. I'm going to give a quick overview of who we are, what we do, and highlight some considerations that you might want to think about regarding Brexit in areas where the Enterprise Europe Network can help provide some information. And I will just make it clear that it's going to mirror quite a lot of what's already been said. So the Enterprise Europe Network is an EU-funded network. We're delivered in Scotland by Scottish Enterprise, and we've got a team of 3 based in Inverness. It's based in the Highland Council. And our aim is to help companies to innovate, grow internationally by making the most of opportunities that are available through collaborative partnerships. We're all about making connections in Europe and beyond. The extent of our network is very large. Every region of the EU is covered, and we're all networked together, and we share knowledge, we share contacts, we share information to help local companies. So I'll help companies here. We've got colleagues in France who are helping their colleagues in their area it might be wanting information from ourselves. Our main goal is to help companies make international partnerships. And one of the main tools that we have is our Enterprise Europe Network Partnership Database, where there's thousands of different opportunities from companies who are looking for different things. It could be commercial partnerships, looking for agents, looking for distributors for their goods. It could be for new suppliers to broaden their product range. It could be for manufacturing partners. So there's a number of different opportunities that are there. The profiles are developed jointly between companies and Enterprise Europe advisors. And companies can express interest, and we'll act as the intermediaries putting you together in touch and providing follow-up. We offer things like events, brokerage events, which are usually attached to international trade fairs, where there's pre-arranged one-to-one meetings scheduled in advance. And we use our colleagues for market information. They've got on-the-ground knowledge of companies, their business activity. They can help provide company lists, company statistics, and we do the same for our colleagues. So, for example, recently we had a Swedish company who was looking for a particular grain to make beer, and they were looking for potential sources here. So that's our international partnerships. The innovation and funding support. We are here to provide information on EU funding programmes, and we can help identify partners to apply for European funding, which leads to EU funding and Brexit. At the moment, we can say we continue to participate in all of the EU funded programmes while we remain a member. What will happen will depend on the agreement. If there is a transitional period, then we'll continue to take part in all of these EU programmes until the duration of the multi-annual framework programmes that we sit under, which is 2020. In the event of a no deal, we can say that we will be leaving the EU budget in March, which means that UK organisations no longer will receive funding. But the Chancellor did guarantee that any UK participants will be guaranteed to receive the funding until the end of the project. I think it's important to make clear that is for the UK companies. If you're a leader of a consortium, for example, in an EU project, and it's your responsibility to distribute the funds, it's only the UK partner that is guaranteed. The UK government notices that have been already mentioned have got specific links for all the different types of European funding, so Horizon 2020, Erasmus+, and you can find further information there on how that might affect you. What we can do, though, is provide guidance on the application processes, eligibility. We also subscribe to a database called Grant Finder, so in the event if there's no funding, we can have a look at different routes of funding that might be available, and we're happy to do a search. We also provide international innovation service through partnering again. So that might be identifying solutions for challenges that you have. It might be from transporting frozen goods, and you're looking for a solution to do that. So you can use our partnership database. Our general inquiry service, I think that will remain important. We can provide information on EU legislation, standards such as CE marking. We're not legal experts, but we can provide current information and current guidance, and that's what we'll be looking to do in a case-by-case scenario after Brexit. Our general inquiry service does typically include things like VAT inquiries, it might be due diligence, and standards and labelling, which again is going to be important. So, Brexit, what next? I think Trudeau's already highlighted. The withdrawal agreement was rejected on the 15th of January, and another vote with a possible revised agreement by or on the 12th of March, which could lead to a possible extension. But I think we all have to bear in mind that that has to be agreed by all the 27 member states as well to allow that. So it's definitely an uncertain time for businesses, and it's difficult for businesses to plan when we're not sure what the outcome is going to be. As extremely high volume of notices that have been published, that's quite hard to keep on top of. However, I'd like to highlight, I'm going to be the fourth person to say this, but there was a note issued yesterday by the HMRC, which is published to encourage business owners to make sure that they are ready by considering at least 3 steps. So they are urging business owners to register for the Economic Operator Registration Identification Number. And at the moment, they've said that only 17% of businesses have registered for that. If there is a no deal, then UK businesses who have only ever traded within the EU won't have that number if they haven't already applied. So that is, I think, a definite take-home message today. Their second consideration was, as Sarah's discussed, is the customs declarations. So how are you going to go forward with that? You might need to think that you want to use a customs agent. But I think Sarah's covered very well what customs declarations you might need to consider. And again, their third recommendation was to consider registering for the transitional simplified procedure. But I think there's a number of issues that businesses do need to consider. And again, I think Martin very clearly highlighted there the need for maintaining relationships with your suppliers. It's absolutely key. You might want to check your contract terms there. They need to be aware of the new customs procedures as well, because all the EU member states are going to look on us as a third partner. So are they ready as well? Compliance issues, and you might want to speak with your freight forwarders. And again, I think Sarah highlighted the advantage of perhaps checking to see whether your freight forwarders are authorised economic operators. There is a database of authorised economic operators, so you can check who's registered in that. In the UK, it's quite simple to use, and it's well worth doing. Being aware of the potential import tariffs, there's a good website, the European Union Market Access Database. You can check on that, see what the likely tariffs are going to be. It's well worth a look. I think some businesses may be concerned about standards going forward, such as product safety. A recent inquiry I had was for a manufacturer of toys who were needing to look at CE marking and how that might be applied. There's been guidance that has been issued, particularly if there is no deal. So goods that are already placed in the market before the 29th of March will be able to continue to circulate in the UK. Additionally, goods made and assessed against EU regulation requires must have the relevant marking, but that could be for a time-limited period. And then it will change to a UK mark. But UK notified bodies will lose their status as being notified bodies in the EU So this means that after 29th of March, the results of conformity assessment carried out in the UK will no longer be recognised in the EU, so they'd have to be assessed by an EU market body. IP and trademarks. EU trademarks and registered community designs are intellectual property rights. They're granted by the EU Intellectual Property Office and they're governed by EU regulations. So again, if we leave March with no deal, the government have ensured that the property rights in all existing registered EU trademarks will continue to be protected and be enforceable in the UK by providing an equivalent trademark or design registered in the UK. Finance and taxation, again, we've kind of covered that. That's something that you will need to be aware of. VAT registered imports will be able to account for import VAT on their VAT returns rather than paying it when or soon after the goods arrived at the UK border. Things to consider, all goods that are received in the UK as parcels will be liable for VAT. And I think exporters, you'll still be able to zero rate sales to EU customers, but you'll have no EU sales list complete, but you'll need to retain evidence that the products have left the UK. I think it's important to highlight as well that EU states will treat the UK as they do non-EU countries. And again, what we've looked at briefly already, but Stephen will speak further about, is just to be aware of your staff. If you have EU citizens who intend to stay, it should be applying for the EU settlement scheme, which will be open until the 31st of December 2020 if we leave without a deal. We've looked at various resources. There are a number of resources out there. They are really helpful. I think particularly the Prepare for Brexit is extremely useful. The UK government information, the no deal notices are important to look at, and there is a tool there that you can go through with your own sector which gives very specific notices for you to have a look at. The HMRC have produced a partnership pack, which again is sector specific and it takes you through different stages, and it's well worth a look at. The EU sources as well, the European Commission have issued a number of Brexit preparedness notices that covers things like travel, which is really good. And what they also have in that particular website is the different member states and how they're preparing. So the information on if you're sending goods to Belgium, for example, what the Belgium VAT rates and their custom declarations and things will be. And I touched on the market access database as well. These links will all be available afterwards. Sorry, my contact details. I just want to make clear we are here. We're happy to help where we can. If you want to speak to us, and I just wish everybody good luck.